welcome you to Colorado Springs, where the sun is finally peeking out over Pikes Peak. San Diego visits Colorado Springs side by side in the standings. Tonight's match is brought to you by the SoCo CW. Mike Watson, Gary Bailey, the former Man United goalkeeper, on hand. A look at the standings in the USL Championship's Western Conference. Sacramento leads the way, 34 points. And above the line right now, these sides straddle the home and road portion of the top 8. Colorado Springs just 1 point clear, San Diego a game in hand. With that in mind, Gary, let's talk about our player to watch for Colorado Springs. Romario Williams really starting to find his scoring form.
Yeah, 4 goals and 2 assists in the last 6 games. He really is on form, the 28-year-old Jamaican. Overall this season, 8 in 18. Look at him getting in the right positions. His timing into the box is absolutely spot on, and he's an informed player that San Diego will have to keep a very close eye on.
Our player to watch presented by Keg One Modelo. So Romario Williams starring for the Switchbacks. For San Diego, it's a dynamic duo that's leading the way.
Yeah, it's a combination of Moshaban and Evan Conway, and look at the ball there from Jimmy Moshaban, absolutely brilliant. Every time he plays in Conway's in a bit of space, goes round the keeper here, tucks it in. The last 3 goals they've scored has been this combination, and it's a combination that worries Stephen Hogan.
And Nate Miller says sometimes you can't figure out which characters have instant chemistry, but the supporters certainly know it now. Moshaban and Conway lead the way tonight at Widener Field, where the last 4 opponents have failed to score. The Switchbacks on a winning run. San Diego trying to catch them. Tonight's match brought to you by the SoCo CW after this.
It's summertime, and if you're lucky, weather in your neighborhood could be coming to your neighborhood. Every Thursday, one lucky winner will get to host a weather party from their backyard. Invite us over, and I'll do the weather live on Fox 21 News at 5 and 6:30. Plus, I'll bring along enough food for 15, and I'll bring the Fox 21 Storm Squatch as well. Enter now on the Fox 21 Storm Team app for your chance to win a weather in your neighborhood party.
Fox 21 Weather in your neighborhood is sponsored by Luxury Car Cosmetics.
In Southern Colorado, you have to be ready for anything.
Sometimes that involves making a really tough decision. Patagonia or North Face?
We make the most out of a nice day. Hey, grab Aspen, Rocky, and Sierra. Let's go.
And in Southern Colorado, we know it's all about the flavor.
And as our cities grow, we hang on to our Western heritage.
I'm just trying to hold on.
Well, hold on tighter.
I thought you were going this way.
I'm getting off this way. This is how you get up. We are Southern Colorado.
Hey, wait! What about me?
We are Southern Colorado.
Saturday during the summers was our get up and go to Monument Lake fishing. From a little hobby as an 11-year-old kid, it's turned into quite a business.
Our stories matter.
If they're on the trails, if they're in the woods, if they're anywhere, I can be with them now.
Bringing you the most local news.
All of the people that are doing this type of agriculture are trying to do a better thing for society.
We are Fox 21, and together we are Southern Colorado.
Hi, I'm Scott Kilbury, host of Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids. We have 30 of the best and brightest schools from all across Southern Colorado competing for the top spot. Question is, who will come out on top? Watch Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids Sundays at 6:30, sponsored by the Pikes Peak Library District.
Burgers for the mind, tacos for the heart, and chili for the soul. We're Felipe's 109, home of the taco burger. Local flavors, family owned, love, peace, green chili, y'all.
Tonight's player walkout is sponsored by Children's Hospital Colorado. A 40-minute wait, finally ready to roll here at Widener Field. It is the Switchbacks hosting San Diego Loyal. With Gary, Mike, let's get you caught up on the lineup news to this point. Colorado Springs has gone into their bench twice, Beckford and Skundrich. The lineup is brought to you by Phil Long. Gary, maybe it looks like this.
Yeah, we're not 100% sure because they've taken Moose out of the back 4, so we're thinking it goes to a 3. Tejada and Beckford as the wingbacks. Skundrich William deep defensive midfield. Chapman Echeverria will be attacking midfield. Romario Williams up front, but we could have it all wrong. We're going to find out very soon.
Meanwhile, Nate Miller for San Diego. There's so much width to this team, they don't even fit the graphic.
This is unchanged, not one single change, and quite rightly so. They beat Hartford 2-0 last match out. But again, that combination we showed, Moshaban and Conway up front, that's what Colorado coach Stephen Hogan said he's most concerned about is that they are so sharp, and in transition it could be a real problem for Colorado Springs.
Blue smoke billowing out. Modelo all about it tonight. And now we're cooking with canola here in Colorado Springs. Just less than a month before we get to see these fans in person, the upcoming USL Summer Showcase. Take a look at the scarves that they've handed out today. Sponsored by Fox 21 and the SoCo CW, honoring the U.S. Women's National Team as they head off to the upcoming Women's World Cup in New Zealand and Australia. The captain of the team is a Colorado native, Lindsay Horan. Sophia Smith is blown up on the scene as well.
Oh, what a player she is up front. Pace, ability to score, lives off the sort of shoulder of the defenders, and she could be the superstar for the USA if they go on to win, which we all hope and expect they will do. She could turn out to be the star, Sophia Smith.
Of course, those two are from Colorado. This one has someone to root for, Andy Sullivan, with a Colorado connection of sorts. Drew Skundrich's wife off to the World Cup as well. All our best to the entire team, but especially Andy and the Coloradans that are making the trip.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder what Drew and his wife talk about when they get home, if they're both professional footballers.
Yeah, they asked me to play center back tonight. No, well, we'll find out where Skundrich is playing this evening. He's the real linchpin of the whole thing. You have to feel for Eric Tattersall. He's already being read the riot act of some sort. Just a sprinkling of rain continues here in Colorado Springs. Number 4, number 5, San Diego can catch Colorado Springs tonight. The Switchbacks have been tremendous at home. It's the lone game of this Friday night in the championship from downtown Colorado Springs.
Well, straight away we see Drew Skundrich in a sort of a right wing-back position behind Deshane Beckford, so that might give us an idea of how they're going to line up.
Carried upfield by Perez. Sidestep Speedy. Takes the shot, rolls off the fingertips of Herrera and in. Less than 40 seconds, Perez. A gift of a goal, and San Diego leads. Wow.
Oh, that is a shot. Christian Herrera, 5 of his last 6 games have been clean sheets. He's been in great form. Hasn't put a foot wrong, but what an error that is. It happens to all goalkeepers. Perhaps took his eye off the shot there from Adrian Perez. Let's have a look at it again. Weren't expecting anything here. Nice switch of play. Brings the ball under control really well. Adrian Perez cuts inside, as he did against Pittsburgh Riverhounds, scoring a goal there with a fantastic volley. Similar sort of position. But this shot straight forward, doesn't get his body behind it, Christian Herrera. Golden rule, when you put your hands down, try and get your body behind. He does, and his legs are late to move. And the hands don't do the job, and it's the back of the net. What a start for San Diego Loyal.
It took a minute and a half for Juan Tejada to score on the 4th of July, the opener for Colorado Springs. Next home game, Herrera watches this slide by, and San Diego leads inside a minute.
It's almost a carbon copy of that goal against Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Adrian Perez starting out on the right, came in again, beat 1, beat 2, shoots from the edge of the box. That one flew into the back of the net. This one, I won't say it trickled, but it didn't have that much power on. But certainly Christian Herrera will want to forget about that moment now and focus on the rest of the game. Difficult as a keeper, you make a mistake early on in the game, your mind can wander. As a keeper, you've just got to focus on making sure you don't make another error.
Oh, it's given away. Beckford still chasing, cleared out for a corner. This is going to be a wacky night. By the way, that was the first goal conceded on home ground since June the 2nd by Colorado Springs, a span of 4 straight clean sheets and 438 minutes.
Wow. As I said, 5 of the last 6 have been clean sheets, just the 1 goal going in. So wow, they have given nothing away, but they certainly gave a gift away tonight.
Corner kick brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, that's what I like. Oh, wide with a clip wide of the right-hand post. Skundrich saying he got hugged.
Well, it could be a case of strap in for this match. It's the beginning is anything to go by. Koke Vegas, by the way, giving the ball away in the first couple of minutes there, playing out the back. As we see here, a little bit of a shove.
It's Mahoney and Stoneman.
It's again, if you have VAR, you can slow those moments down, but in real time, it's almost impossible for referee Eric Tattersall to see what's going on in the box.
Injury stoppage is brought to you by Censura Health. And anytime you see just this grab of the leg here for Beckford, that is really nervy business. Let's see if we can get a better look at it.
Yeah, it's a turn of the ankle. As he goes in to block this ball, watch his ankle. The ball hits the ankle and twists the knee and gives it a bit of a bit of a thump, and that can be very painful. Hopefully nothing more than just a little bit of pain, but you can see by the look on his face, he's not happy with that. And given that one of his strengths is his amazing acceleration and pace, that's what you use him for, to bomb down the lines and get the ball whipped in. If he's feeling discomfort, then that might rob him of his most important asset, his speed.
Beckford's 15th start of the year. Finished last year at San Antonio. Came back to Colorado Springs, where he featured in 2021. Tapped away from Conway. Tejada. That's a perfect challenge. I want to say it's the rain that's making the field quite so bouncy, but that usually isn't the case. That's a foul from Jay Chapman.
It just seems all helter-skelter. Some games start off first 5 minutes, it's keep possession across the back and get to feel each other out. Yeah, tackles flying in like that one, and it's a fair tackle, but Tejada comes off worse, and they're grappling with each other. We've had Deshane Beckford go down nearly injured. We've had Koke Vegas pass out the back and give it away, and of course we've had the horrendous error from Christian Herrera all in the space of the first 5 minutes.
Gary, I don't want to say you've been there often, but when you play as many games in goal as you have, that happens in the first minute. How do you clear that out of the memory bank?
You have to. You just have to. The sort of danger with goalkeepers who make mistakes, and as you say, we've all done it, is that you then try and make up for it, and then you're going to make a second mistake. So Christian Herrera will know that he must just play everything on merit from now on, do what you have to do, be sensible, and then you deal with it afterwards. And if you win this game, your players will forgive you and forget. If you lose it, they'll blame you for the loss, and that's just all part of it.
Beckford is returned all the while. Bodily crossing. Bobbled and this time held on to by Herrera.
And the goalkeeper will be happy, even though it took him 2 grabs to get the ball, he'll be happy just to get his hands in it and get a feel for it and just calm his nerves down.
That goal, 35 seconds. Fastest goal by San Diego this season. 5th by Perez. And the Loyal now scoring the opening goal have lost just 1 of 9 previous occasions and taken 20 of their 27 points, grabbing the opening goal. Tejada, the back of Riley.
We got that goal after a couple of minutes in the last match. A lovely near post run from Tejada. And that was Fjellberg who put the cross in, who's on the bench today. It's amazing again, just going back to Christian Herrera, 5 of the last 6 are clean sheets. You come into this match where you haven't put a foot wrong. You're probably the most informed keeper in the league, 5 out of 6 clean sheets. I don't think anyone comes close to that. And then the very first thing you do is in horrendous areas. It's just a crazy game, soccer, especially if you're a defender or a goalkeeper. It can turn from good to bad in just an instant.
Mahoney. Turn to Agron. Well, it is the 4-back that Colorado Springs is known for. It's just Skundrich playing in an unfamiliar position, usually in a central midfield spot.
He's pushed quite high up most of the time, so he's playing as a either right back or a right wing back pushing up, which is where his skills are. Good to see Deshane Beckford there on the right-hand side, just moving freely now after a little tweak of his knee joint.
Okay, Vegas. It's Charlie Adams winning a free kick. Perez, he should be bubbling with confidence. Serves wide. Corona, free header is in! This is remarkable! Blake Bodley, his second of the year, and the Loyal have shocked Colorado Springs. 2 goals inside 10 minutes, and now no team in the championship have conceded more in the first 15 of games all year.
Well, this, I hate to say it, I think is another error from Christian Herrera, but Adrian Perez, what wonderful skills on the ball, attacking down that side, draws in a lot of defenders. This ball whipped across, header from body, but look at the goalkeeper here. It goes almost through his hands a second time. It's a decent header, but it's not in the corner, it's at the goalkeeper. He's got to deal with that and doesn't. It's one thing making one error, but 2 errors in the first 10 minutes for Christian Herrera again. After 5 clean sheets in 6 appearances, a shocking start for the 26-year-old.
And Koke Vegas loves it. What a fantastic start for San Diego on the road. And it's funny, you know, I said, Nate, I don't know when you last kept a clean sheet on the road before the win at Hartford. And he goes, no, I know the stat, Mike. I know the stat. It was 29 straight. It's Tejada chasing. And this will end up being a corner. Going back to 2021 in October at Hartford. But he's saying, well, 2 to 3 goals a game. We do that a lot on the road. We've won a lot of games on the road. So, yeah, we want more clean sheets, but it comes with the territory. Pepsi corner kick. Pepsi, that's what I like. Corner to Tejada. Wow, what a swipe by Koke Vegas. Out to Beckford. Well, San Diego have been spotted 2 in the first 10.
Wow. Look, this is a long way from being over. Colorado Springs are a good side. And under Stephen Hogan, they've found their feet again after a bad little spell of 5 without a win. Now they're looking good. So just get 1 goal and you're back in this. And certainly with Deshane Beckford, I prefer him to run at players. He's so quick. Prefer him to run and then try and cross the ball, but he did score a couple of games ago with a good shot from the edge of the box. So no reason why he can't score again. That goal was against Miami FC when they beat them 2-0. But certainly when you go 2-0 up, the chances of getting a win are pretty good, and a lot of work for Colorado Springs to do to get back in this match.
Switchbacks have managed 2+ goals in that entire 4-game home winning streak. Just didn't expect to have to climb out of this big hole. Had a sellout crowd for that game on the 4th of July. A rotated Monterey Bay squad just looked totally out of sorts. Ball taken away in part by Romario Williams. Slides for Tejada, pushing forward Riley. Good touch to control by Evan Conway. Taken on by Skundrich.
Well, just by the way, both those goals coming from Adrian Perez, the shot, of course, and the error by Christian Herrera. But again, it's his run that causes the second one. Gets the ball in eventually to Blake Bodley. I think Adrian Perez is turning out to be a really, really dangerous player for San Diego Loyal.
Oh, Chapman had to get that right. Apparently did. Stayed in. That's a seeing eye single if I've ever seen one. And all the way up to San Diego to take over. This is blasted high and wide. And finally, the Switchbacks let off the hook for yet another error. This one from Perez. What is going on?
The good pressure in midfield. San Diego, look at them hunting down, hunting there. Speedy Williams dispossessed now. On his left foot, Adrian Perez, this is where he should be hitting target. He's such a good player. He runs so well at defenders, and they just can't bend that ball in, but he is turning up. We're just talking and saying that he's the one causing all the problems, and he gets another chance as we see the rain falling down in the background. Colorado Springs need to get themselves sorted here because they're being overrun at the moment by San Diego.
Skundrich just get rifled all over the place. Injured player down for San Diego. Williams, Tejada, the save by Koke Vegas. It was offside.
Well, Vegas wasn't to know that. It's a hell of a save from Tejada. They were calling for an. You can see there's a player lying flat on the ground, and they're calling for the referee to stop it. Tejada just offside. Lovely ball in there from Romario Williams, and great strike from Tejada. Warning for San Diego that the attacking prowess of Colorado Springs is there, but there's the man of the moment, Adrian Perez. He's been running in that defense, causing absolute havoc.
That's a foul. Williams has gotten into it. The AR is right there. And
trouble.
Straight red.
Yeah, trouble.
Williams is off. And Colorado Springs has imploded.
You can't hit anyone, you can't push out, you can't do anything like that, and he did it right in front of the assistant ref. And Eric Tattersall saying that's it, off you go. No doubt, no question whatsoever, according to the assistant ref. And you're right, it is going from bad to worse here.
Red
Colorado
card
Springs.
is, red card is sponsored by Diversus Health. Mental health and well-being for all. Remember, take a moment to breathe. Gary, no VAR. That's the nature of the championship. So what Eric Tattersall saw is what it's going to be.
Absolutely, done and dusted. Doesn't matter what Williams says to him here. I'd like to see it again because he gets blown up for a late tackle here. Comes in, there's a connection, and the player stays down, and it's a free kick against Romario Williams. So he's already in trouble. He's already given away a free kick, and he's going to get a lecture. We don't actually see the shove. Just before that, Williams pushes out. So, wow. We've had more in the first 15 minutes than most matches have in 90 minutes.
Well, if you're listening on Sirius XM FC, you must be utterly baffled right now about all that's gone on. That's Grant Stoneman, who's down and being attended to. And Romario Williams has stripped off his jersey and is making his way off the field.
Yeah, well, there was a specific moment. We got a little glance of it where he raises his hand and pushes Grant Stoneman, and you just cannot do that. Okay, here we go. Maybe we'll see it this time.
Oh.
Okay. That's where they were. That's the offside. Now have a look here. Just keep an eye. His elbow's out there, so there was some afters. And we don't get to see it again there. See, he had already had 2 tackles in which he'd been a little bit naughty and nasty, got away with it, and then got up and pushed. And maybe something upset him before that, but you can't retaliate in the manner in which he did.
All right, here's one more look. So there's Williams clearing it out.
Watch now, kid. Keep an eye on the far right corner. Watch there. He turns and elbows in. That's a red card. You're right in front of the assistant ref. In fact, he's standing next to you. You turn and you swing an elbow. There is no question whatsoever. That is a direct red card. And how Romario Williams even tries to argue that, I have no idea.
The red card happened at 14:51. So we kick a ball for the first time in about 3.5 minutes. And San Diego up 2 goals and up a man for the final 75 minutes tonight. And ultimately, the fans in Colorado Springs, they'll end up seeing the same footage that you just showed. And understand the anger from the fans in real time, but this is as obvious as it gets.
Yeah, I mean, it is the right decision, but the fans won't see it till after this game, which means that for the next 70-odd minutes, they're going to be booing. And look, I've seen teams come back with 10 men, not often. They are booing.
It's Stoneman that they're booing.
Yeah, you can still win a game from 2-0 down with 10 men, but it's going to take a monumental effort to do it, especially against a team as good as San Diego are in transition. They're going to catch you on the break if you throw too many players forward. So you're just going to have to keep cool now, and the more senior players, the Matt Mahoney's at 28, those sort of players are going to just have to tell the others, calm down. Speedy Williams at 31, just take a deep breath. But having said that, Romario Williams is 28 years old. He knows not to do that. So if even the older players are getting caught up in the moment, then you do have a problem.
Riley. Imagine Stoneman would feel this a bit of a badge of honor. Skundrich going in. Martin blasted down by Beckford, and he's going to get a yellow card. Well, this feels applicable. Yellow card sponsored by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment and breathe.
No, you're kidding. Is that what it says?
It is.
That is absolutely spot on. Just got to keep it calm. I mean, he's rammed into the back there, and you know you're going to get a yellow for kicking the ball away. Now, if he then just put the scenario 10 minutes from now, he has a late tackle and someone gets sent off, it's on him for giving away a silly yellow in the first place.
Yellow to the bench. Not sure if that's Stephen Hogan, the manager, or James Chambers in the background.
Well, another yellow. Here we go.
Dissent for Matt Mahoney. And if you're Colorado Springs, frustrated or not, it's time to go get back on the bike and start riding again.
Absolutely. Nothing Eric Tattersall can do. If you're going to, excuse me, if you're going to start having a go at the referee, you're going to end up in the book.
You want to read it this time?
This one here?
Yeah.
This yellow-red card is sponsored by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe.
Thanks, pal.
Absolutely brilliant. Couldn't have written it better if you had known.
Tejada. Oh, the energy this player brings, second to none, and it's precisely what they're going to need tonight, although he's given it away cheaply. Going to be recovered once more by the Switchbacks. Tejada circumnavigating onto Chapman. Leads Skundrich. Skundrich in behind, out beyond Echeverria, who comes off a brace last time out. A tremendous one at that.
That's a good ball in there. Fantastic for Echeverria, just a little bit ahead of him, but the idea is brilliant from Skundrich. And you're right, Echeverria with 2 goals, the second of which was an absolute screamer from the edge of the box against Monterey Bay in the last match. You know, we talked about what Colorado Springs have to do in point of taking a breather and just, you know, the older, more experienced head prevailing, which so far they haven't. But what does San Diego do? Don't get involved, don't get drawn into things, don't do anything silly. Just bring the heat down, calm it all down, slow it down. You're 2-0 up and you're heading for 3 points. You don't want to get caught up in a fight with Colorado Springs.
That's Perez getting tossed by Segrist.
Oh, nice little bit of skill there from Perez. And that's it, just don't react, don't go and chase after the player. Perez doing exactly what you should do, just go down, win the free kick, take it from there. By the way, all this advice I'm giving is very easy to give sat in an armchair. Different story when you're in the match and your blood is boiling, just so people are aware of that.
We're really laying it on thick for you tonight. How many howlers have you given up? How many times have you gotten drawn into one of these?
Look, I never got booked twice in my entire career of 15 years, so the bookings I was able to keep under control. But the errors, yeah, I had a few of those.
It's going to run out of real estate. Well, if you missed a minute in this game, you missed a lot. Opening effort from Adrian Perez off the outstretched fingertips of Christian Herrera. By any measure, a brutal moment for the 26-year-old goalkeeper. 8 minutes later, Blake Bodley from Joe Corona. Unmarked header, 2-0 San Diego. And then the Switchbacks reduced to 10 after an elbow after the play had concluded from Romario Williams in the 15th minute. Just like that, all the goodwill of the past month and a half at home is evaporated. Rolled back by Adams, Stoneman making new friends, Martin. Referee has stopped play. Something's happened. Away from the action. That's the keeper, Herrera, going down, grabbing for his left leg.
Well, the referee obviously has to stop the game if the goalkeeper goes down injured, but I'm not quite sure where that happened, whether it was him kicking the ball out or we didn't see anything. He is sort of pressing in that hamstring area, so I don't know if he overstretched for a ball. It's probably a good time for Stephen Hogan just to call all the players in and say, hey guys, you know, calm down, relax, we're still in this game. We get one goal, we're back in it, we'll have the crowd behind us. So a good moment for the coaching staff to get back into their players' heads at Colorado Springs Switchbacks and just get a control of this game.
Injury stoppage brought to you by Centura Health. You know, you were looking at your spotting charts before the game, Gary, and you go, two 37-year-old managers, two of the up-and-comers. I imagine there's very few games that either have been the lead man in that they've had layout quite like this. It must be very unique.
For both managers, yeah, absolutely. Two very exciting young managers with potentially a great future in the game, and they've done some good things with their teams this season. But one of them right now is sitting back thinking, wow, things are going well for me, and the other one in particular, Stephen Hogan, is thinking, what else can go wrong tonight?
And you can be sure San Diego going into a 13-day bye for hosting Borussia Dortmund in 2 weeks' time is looking to get off on the right foot here on the road before they turn into 5 straight home games in the month of August in the league. Appeal for a handball, it continues. Tejada brought it down. They'll bring play back. Good chance that was going to be offside. So the advantage came and went, and the ref will bring it back to it.
Tejada, I thought, was in an offside position, so he's lucky that the infringement happened before that. He's just got to time his runs a bit more carefully, Tejada, because when he does get through, such a clever player, such a wonderful first touch and control of the ball.
Speedy Williams orchestrates and plays it straight through Tejada. Tejada with a tight angle. Beckford turns, rips, deflects, and out beyond Speedy Williams. You can see the field's got a little bit of excess water tonight. Header in front, whistle's blown. Crowd's going crazy. It is not a goal. It is a foul by Agren, who's still forward off the set piece.
Yeah, there's a bit of a shove in the defender's back. Have a look, the ball comes in. Have a look there, the hands are up, and there's a little bit of a shove on Adrian Perez, and the referee can see that clearly. And he has to give it because Agren is on the end of a ball and got a chance to score. Yeah, you're talking about those matches, those 5 matches in a row at home, but they've been on the road since before June 24th, that very first game. It's a long time on the road, and Coach Nate Miller just saying they're looking forward to that home stretch and a chance just to relax and enjoy the home comforts, and a chance to shoot up the table. 5 matches.
It's 7 of 9 on the road. San Diego always has a difficult road stretch at some point because they have so few dates available to them to play at Torero Stadium. The nature of multi-tenant facility. Looking forward to the fall. Let's have gridiron lines for it. University of San Diego.
It's getting frustrating for the Switchbacks because they're playing possession football. San Diego loyal, playing across the bat. You can see the high five there. It's just they're sort of tempting the Switchbacks to get angry. They're just keeping that possession, knocking it around. But there's plenty of time. The Switchbacks don't need to get too fired up. They've got 60 minutes plus. Just need to keep cool. Just wait for that error. Try and get 1 goal back.
Oh, what a ball in behind. Chasing down the sideline. And the cross with a diving header. This is tremendous. It's another one for Blake Bodley. His 2nd tonight. It's at the half-hour mark. 3-0 San Diego.
Well, that one wasn't Christian Herrera's fault. That was nothing he could do about that. Lovely header from Blake Bodley, but what a good move down the right-hand side. Lovely ball played down into space. Beautiful cross coming in, and they were caught on the counter-attack, and we know how good San Diego are in transition. Mashaban rather is making that run into the box, and unmarked is Blake Bodley, so you've got to look over your shoulder then and say, who is picking up Blake Bodley? No one is the answer, and it's a really good header. And they've caught them on the counter-attack. And who's involved again? The cross coming in from Adrian Perez, who's been absolutely brilliant in the first 30 minutes of this game.
He's got a goal and an assist, and that man's got 2 tonight. And that man's got 3 goals worth of insurance. 3rd of the season for Blake Bodley. And we had a chat with Nate Miller this week about Bodley in particular, especially with some of the players, Nick Moon especially, that have been missing at times for San Diego as it's turned over to Bodley, given back to Colorado Springs. You know, sometimes you sign your homegrown deal in MLS, then you just don't play a lot. And that was the case in Portland. So he's experienced in age, but not in professional games. They loved what he brought on loan for a short stint in 2021. Here comes Perez. Perez! Finally, Herrera, big stop. Rebound finds Echeverria. This might be fish in a barrel tonight for San Diego.
I'm just thinking that now. It's damage limitation, isn't it, for the Switchbacks? They just got to maybe forget about having to score a goal, just not concede anymore.
Martin down the line. Skundrich leaps in the way, does not touch the ball.
The thing was, it was Colorado Springs who were pushing forward during that 3rd goal. It was a quick counter-attack, and often talk about something called transitional vigilance. Basically, it means when you're pushing forward, you must be thinking ahead. What if we lose it? Let's be vigilant. Let's make sure if we do lose it, we have everybody back. And they weren't back. They weren't picked up. And Blake Bodley, unmarked in the box, gets a free header and tucks it beautifully into the corner. And that's just poor defending from Colorado Springs Switchbacks.
It's a lack of vigilance on one side, maybe a bit of vigilantism on the other, because San Diego has been out of this world. transition moments tonight. Stoneman.
That's all they have to do, San Diego, just keep possession across the back, force switchbacks to come and put pressure on you, and that leaves space, and then they can try and play into the space.
Oh, dangerous back pass. In goes Koke. Well, it's a great theory, but you still have to maintain the ball.
Moshaban put his hand up straight away and said, sorry guys, that's on me. And Vegas is like, well, if it was 0-0, I'd shout at you, but it's 3-0, so we're all good. But you're right, just one mistake there, Moshaban. And Vegas got to it, he just couldn't really deal with it.
Off the corner, deflects down atop the 6, out to Echeverria. Beckford. That corner kick was brought to you by T-Roll Price. Invest with confidence. Goals from Perez in the first, Bodley in the 9th, in the 30th, and San Diego pouring it on. This would move them up above Colorado Springs and in position for a home playoff game with a game in hand.
And the importance of the table is that they're only a couple of points away from sort of 8th and 9th position. So you've got to be very aware that you have to move up the table when you can, because those behind you, and if you're Colorado Springs now, you're only 3 points ahead of 8th spot, 4 points ahead of 9th.
Yep.
You can very easily slip out of that top 8. So a win here just takes a lot of pressure off San Diego, but even though it looks very likely they win, they've still got work to do to make sure they walk away from here with all 3 points.
Verse from Corona, on to Charlie Adams. Elijah Martin. San Diego still seed a game in hand, El Paso and Sacramento, but can move into 4th, just 4 points off the top 2, Sacramento and San Antonio, past the midway point of the regular season, right where they want to be in theory. And you talk to Nate Miller and the difficulty of the last 7 games. Colorado Springs looking for options, poke down the line. Look at that explosion for Beckford. I'm feeling that because expectations around San Diego are so high, makes that struggle even painful to swallow. That is a really dopey offside.
Isn't it just? You know that once the throw-in's been played, you've got to come back on side. They didn't do it, Colorado Springs, and they're making mistakes. They're making mistakes time and time again. In fact, if you look at the match so far, you've got to say, Adrian Perez, well done. The first goal was a shot, wasn't a great shot, but you forced the error from the goalkeeper. You know, he starts the second goal, he gets a cross for the third goal. So San Diego doing all the right things, and switchbacks, errors by the goalkeeper, 2 of them. Mario Williams getting sent off, not picking up Blake Bodley for the 3rd, and he's on the edge of the box with his hands in the air waving. And hopefully we'll see that in a moment or two. They've done everything, not everything wrong, but done a lot of things wrong so far in the match, Colorado Springs, and it's got to make sure they don't make any more errors.
And the Loyal win another corner. This is Colin Martin. Echeverria showing his frustration.
It's professional pride. Nobody likes to be on the end of a 3-0 result at home, not result, 3-0 scoreline at home.
Corner kick brought to you by the McDivitt Law Firm. We are in your corner. Too soon for the short corner routine, right?
They can do what they want, San Diego, at this stage. You can see they've got 3 bodies around Christian Herrera. In fact, 4. A bit of shoving and pushing going on. But literally they're crowding the goalkeeper out. So if this ball comes near the goalkeeper, he's going to find it very difficult to come out and deal with it.
Corner whipped across. Herrera climbs the ladder, goes down. That's a foul. Look at the pressure from Loyal. After it again, Agron. Tejada goes in. Bodies everywhere. Bodily with it. And both players are down.
You can see the switchback players all putting their hand up for the yellow card. They're going to take every chance they can to try and get back at San Diego. I'm not quite sure who got their second, who got their first. Let's have a look. I think Tejada gets there first, so it's likely Colin Martin could be in trouble with this one. Not a red card, but although Tejada's foot is up higher, so wow. Yeah, Colin Martin gets the yellow for being slightly later on the tackle, but there's no way it can be a red without the likes of VAR. You'd have to slow that right down to see whose foot was in what position.
No card sponsored by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe.
Wow. Tell you what, there hasn't been much transfer of breath for anybody watching this. This has been incredible. Here we go again. It's Tejada's foot is up higher, and that can get you a red card, but he gets the ball first, and that's why Colin Martin got the yellow. So in real time, Eric Tattersall has to make a call. We've seen it in slow motion, and then it gets a little bit easier to figure out who's doing what. But referee, I think, given the fact he sent Romario Williams off, there was every chance he was going to give the yellow card to San Diego, just to, in effect, just try and calm things down. Because if he gave it against Switchbacks, these players would have been even more upset. Now, that's a late tackle from Echeverria.
That's another yellow card. That's gone to Conway.
Wow. Okay. I was wrong there. I thought Echeverria was late on that.
Well, here we go again. This yellow is sponsored by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe.
I'd like to see that again, because I thought Conway got it first. Have a look, perfect timing. Let's have a look. He gets the ball first. That's Echeverria coming late. Have a look at it again. Yep, he gets there first. That's why he's got that bemused look on his face.
Gary, you made an interesting point. It's not in the laws, right? But once that red card goes out, the game is officiated differently. It's at all levels.
Yeah, it's just human nature. Eric Tattersall just wanting to calm everything down, and especially when you're the home side, you're going to get these calls a little bit more often than not because of the crowd as well. Hopefully that's the, and also to be fair, it was very difficult to call. That was two players arriving at almost the same time as with the Tejada one moments earlier with Colin Martin. And again, we have the benefit of a slow mo to try and pick through that, but in real time, Eric Tattersall has to make a call.
Bodily, 2 goals tonight, 1 all season. Just 4 goals in his time with T2. Koke overcooked that off of Martin. And out. Well, Switchbacks get one. Who knows? Maybe you can have a simpler team talk at halftime. But 3-0 down a man. This one cursed from the start if you're the home side. If you're San Diego, all of a sudden that 2-0 win at Hartford. Come on the road here. Back 3 in the first half. Things are looking really positive before the upcoming bye week. And the international friendly with Dortmund and 5 straight home games. Whoa, playing out of the back almost went bad.
Wow, Christian Herrera. You've already had 2 errors, you don't want to add a 3rd one. That was literally within a couple of inches from being hit into the back of the net. But look how long he waits before he clears this. Maybe it's a missed first touch and he just waits. And Evan Conway literally inches away from blocking that one into the back of the net.
Chip down the line. Perez wins the throw.
Now the only real thing that Colorado Springs have in their favor in this match is the home crowd. If they were away from home, they're dead and buried at 3-0 down in 10 men. But at home, with this crowd behind them, and maybe there's, as you say, get one goal and maybe the door just starts to open enough.
Nicholas Murray is sort of the league encyclopedia statistically. I think you'd appreciate his line. It's Conway tackled from behind by Chapman. No, it's gone the other way. It's the initial tackle by Conway that's gone wrong. Switchbacks, he wrote, hadn't conceded in 4 consecutive home games, and so like London buses, here we go.
He gave it for the first contact against Chapman, but again, there wasn't much there.
Like London buses, 3 goals came along in quick succession. Is that about right?
Yeah, just an old saying in England. You know, you wait ages for a bus, and then 3 of them come along all at once. Yeah. I mean, after 5 and 6 clean sheets.
Yep.
You know, give the Switchbacks credit. They've been absolutely brilliant defensively. This has been a horror show, but it has been a rarity.
Big switch down to Tejada. Tejada's gonna streak onto this. Tejada!
Not quite sure what that was, because it looked like a pass with the side of his foot, but there was no one there. He needed to pull it further back. Nor was it a shot on target. Have a look here. Some poor defending, rushing in. Now he's got time on his hands. He goes with the incept to sort of pass it, but there's not a single black shirt in the middle. Nobody there. Yeah, maybe that's what he's saying to himself. Make up your mind. You got caught between shooting and pulling it back, and in the end you got somewhere in the middle.
Stoppage time presented by the TikTok Shop. 4 added minutes, about 3 of which came when the red card was given to Romario Williams in the 15th minute. At that point, San Diego already 2 goals ahead. Dastardly early goalkeeping error, and San Diego has piled on. Martin, that deflected right to Bodley. When it rains, it pours. Bodley on the run. Picking out options, deflected off of Skundrich. That's a corner.
San Diego not really rushing to take it. They're quite happy to reach half-time at 3-0. I guess from a Switchbacks point of view, the only good thing you can really say is they've calmed down a bit. 10, 15 minutes ago, you're thinking that there's going to be another red card here if they're not careful. Well, in that time, there's been 2 yellow cards against San Diego Loyal. And the players, the Switchback players, just seem to have got a grip on things again.
Corner kick brought to you by Pikes Peak National Bank. Bank well, be well, cheer loud. Two-headed goals from Blake Bodley. There's more before the intermission. Swiped away by Herrera. It's going to fall. Struck by Martin into that thin mountain air.
Herrera doing reasonably well there. Gets a punch on it, gets it clear of his box, and puts some height on it, so it's difficult for Martin to deal with.
You know, it's funny, Gary, you were asking about keys to this game in Nate Miller's mind in the lead up to this. And he spoke about altitude briefly, spoke about this being a big field for a turf field. So often you'll see those be just a little tighter. So we have to be disciplined. And he meant it in a different way, but I can't help but think that's the calling card of the moment for them, especially here last 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, once they went 2-0 up, it was about managing the game and catching them on the counter-attack for a third, which is exactly what they did. Couldn't have played it any better, in my view.
There they go again. Brought down by Perez. Goes to work on Siegrist. Perez curling! Oh, it's off the crossbar. Header is smashed in. Moshe Bon. It's an avalanche of loyal goals. Nearly a picturesque scorcher. And Moshaban cleans up. 4-0 before halftime.
Once again, the star of the moment, Adrian Perez. He has been brilliant in this first half. Look at how he creates a switch of play. Brings it down with his chest, cuts in on that left foot there. Beats the one defender. What a strike this is. World class. Comes off the crossbar. And Moshaban with a header there into an empty net. Tried as he could. Oscar Agren couldn't get it off the line, but it's the shot from Adrian Perez that is absolutely top class. I suppose it can't be world class because it didn't go in. Let's put it this way, it's nearly world class, but Moshaban in the right place and tucks that one away. It has just been, for me, a stunning masterclass, Adrian Perez. One of the best USL performances by any player I've seen this season.
Moshaban pokes forward. Everyone wants in on this act now. 3rd minute of stoppage time. Moshaban, the 4th for San Diego. Adams. Martin curls a beautiful ball in. Smashed by Perez. Halftime has arrived. That is stunning. 4-0 San Diego. They will be in 4th tonight if they can see it out.
Well, they should see it out from this position. I guess the big question for Switchbacks is, and for Christian Herrera, just to keep cool, damage limitation second half, try and get a goal and get something out of this match. But well done, San Diego. Yes, there's a couple of goalkeeping errors. There's a silly sending off from Romario Williams, but they've taken the chances. Bodily has had a couple of good goals, but again, Adrian Perez, salute. What a 45 minutes from the right winger.
Well, it was a much happier atmosphere when we started this one. Colorado Springs concede in the 1st minute, and San Diego, a night to remember to this point. A look around the league and so much more coming up at the break. Halftime presented by SoCo CW is next.
Burgers for the mind, tacos for the heart, and chili for the soul. We're Felipe's 109, home of the taco burger. Local flavors, family owned, love, peace, green chili, y'all.
Hi, I'm Scott Kilbury, host of Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids. We have 30 of the best and brightest schools from all across Southern Colorado competing for the top spot. Question is, who will come out on top? Watch Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids Sundays at 6:30, sponsored by the Pikes Peak Library District.
It's summertime, and if you're lucky, weather in your neighborhood could be coming to your neighborhood. Every Thursday, one lucky winner will get to host a weather party from their backyard. Invite us over and I'll do the weather live on Fox 21 News at 5 and 6:30. Plus, I'll bring along enough food for 15 and I'll bring the Fox 21 Storm Squatch as well. Enter now on the Fox 21 Storm Team app for your chance to win a weather in your neighborhood party.
Fox 21 Weather in your neighborhood is sponsored by Luxury Car Cosmetics.
We've all heard the phrase before, the mountains are calling. Well, these mountains are screaming. That's what gets me out here in the pool every day. They energize me, even when I'm not feeling it. In fact, they energize our whole family. We have done so much more outside in Colorado, hiking, biking, swimming, fishing, skiing, you name it, and we owe it to the mountains. They literally take your breath away.
Watch Scott Kilbury on Fox 21 Local News, weeknights at 5, 6:30, 9, and 10.
In Southern Colorado, you have to be ready for anything.
Sometimes that involves making a really tough decision. Patagonia or North Face?
We make the most out of a nice day. Hey, grab Aspen, Rocky, and Sierra. Let's go.
And in Southern Colorado, we know it's all about the flavor.
And as our cities grow, we hang on to our Western heritage.
I'm just trying to hold on.
Well, hold on tighter.
I thought you got this way.
I'm getting off this way. This is how you get up. We are Southern Colorado.
Hey, wait! What about me?
Welcome back to downtown Colorado Springs. Halftime presented by the SoCo CW. Mike Watts, Gary Bailey, let's get you caught up on the upcoming schedule for the Switchbacks. They're on the road again through the end of July, and then a couple of home games, including the Summer Showcase, where everyone league-wide converges here in Colorado for the match against FC Tulsa.
Yeah, there's some good matches they've got to play away from home at Phoenix Rising. Not easy, and at San Diego Loyal, again, they play within literally a couple of games of each other. Birmingham, FC Tulsa is mentioned, and at Oakland Roots. It's so hard to call, Mike, because this West is tight as can be. Chucking a couple of games against the East there with Legion and FC Tulsa, and every game's going to count right up until the end. A number of coaches saying it could all be decided on the final day, and I think they might be right.
Meanwhile, for this San Diego team, their next league game is against Colorado Springs. That's going to be at Torero Stadium. Their next game is a friendly against Borussia Dortmund. They'll be in front of a sold-out crowd at the Snapdragon Stadium.
Yeah, good luck with that. If they are anywhere near to match fit, they're going to have their hands full there. But a dream for the San Diego Loyal players to play against a team as good as Dortmund, and they are real, real good. And then Colorado Springs again. So, as mentioned, they play each other within a couple of games of themselves. And then Orange County, Loudoun. You never know what you're going to get when you get Loudoun. But look at all those, all at home. That's what San Diego Loyal can look forward to now. A real long run of home games, great support, and a chance to shoot up that league table.
A real chance to climb for San Diego coming at Torero Stadium. Meanwhile, here at Widener Field, halftime between Colorado Springs and the Loyal. Halftime is presented by the SoCo CW. A look around the league when we return.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer, bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Slide this in behind. Now it comes for Valesky. Tries to leave it there for Gleedle. Sam Gleedle. It's a tap in for Christian Valesky. And Monterey Bay are absolutely flying tonight. For Masoso. Right through the middle, Johnny Rodriguez. Rodriguez scores! Something out of nothing for the Oakland Roots.
It's summertime, and if you're lucky, weather in your neighborhood could be coming to your neighborhood. Every Thursday, one lucky winner will get to host a weather party from their backyard. Invite us over, and I'll do the weather live on Fox 21 News at 5 and 6:30. Plus, I'll bring along enough food for 15, and I'll bring the Fox 21 Storm Squatch as well. Enter now on the Fox 21 Storm Team app for your chance to win a weather in your neighborhood party.
Fox 21 Weather in your neighborhood is sponsored by Luxury Car Cosmetics.
Welcome back to halftime. It's presented by the SoCo CW. Widener Field in downtown Colorado Springs. Second half still to come, but let's get you caught up on most of the news and notes around the USL Championship and beyond. How about the Bracket Challenge? As Gary knows, the U.S. women's national team set to win the Women's World Cup. You still have to predict it and get it right. USLSuperLeague.com/bracket for more information. All the while, the USL is headed to Northwest Arkansas. If you know anything about the Razorback soccer program, perennial power out of the SEC, finally there will be pro teams in the region, men's and women's. Meanwhile, tomorrow night, Gary, Monterey Bay and Oakland Roots, I mean, there's some real playoff implications.
Yeah, certainly. Oakland Roots are out of the top 8 at the moment. They're in 9th position. They were 4th or 5th only a few weeks ago, so they need to bounce back quickly. Monterey Bay sitting in 6th, just a couple of points into that top 8. So a match that is crucial for both sides.
How about we take a look at the power rankings, and the biggest mover of the last week, the Switchbacks. Big surprise, up 8 slots.
Brilliant, but now that Neil Collins has left, you wonder how it goes from there. But they have had an incredible run. As of Pittsburgh, I mean, they just get result after result. Away at Lou City, a win there, fantastic. And Sacramento Republic, probably most people's pick as the #1 team in the USL at the moment.
Would say so, and somehow they still haven't conceded a dozen goals in the league this season. But we get you caught up on the scores around the league as well. This is from midweek. Detroit and Loudoun split the points. Indy and Charleston do as well. The Riverhounds picking up a big win against Louisville, where the offense is still really scuffling.
Yeah, the offense for Lou City, they're struggling, and Omby a big part of that. He's such a wonderful player. They haven't had him fully fit. Cam Lancaster, maybe not quite the same player he used to be. So a battle at the moment for Lou City. You look across the other side, El Paso are 1-0 up, and the power of San Antonio, they came back to win that by 2-1. And there's Oakland at home. A good draw with Memphis, but it keeps them out of the top 8. They needed that win.
And it is, at minimum, a result they desperately needed coming into this upcoming weekend. It's the ESPN 2, 8 Mountain Time. That's 7 Pacific, 10 out east. Other games are all on ESPN Plus. Any catch your fancy?
They all do one way or another. They're vital for every team. Let's just pick one for you. Detroit going to Pittsburgh. You would think the way Detroit have been struggling, how good Pittsburgh are, but Detroit City are a hard team to break down. They might just catch Pittsburgh out in that match. But yeah, every game means something to those teams, obviously.
Yep, and a very important 3 points on the line for Tulsa here tonight as well. All right, we've got plenty more coming up here at halftime, including our halftime highlights from Broadmoor Cryotherapy. Halftime is presented by the SoCo CW. Continues after these messages and a word from your local station.
We are Southern Colorado.
Saturday during the summers was our get up and go to Monument Lake fishing. From a little hobby as an 11-year-old kid, it's turned into quite a business.
Our stories matter.
If they're on the trails, if they're in the woods, if they're anywhere, I can be with them now.
Bringing you the most local news.
All of the people that are doing this type of agriculture are trying to do a better thing for society.
We are Fox 21, and together we are Southern Colorado.
I moved here about 8 years ago to join the Fox 21 News team. I thought I'd only be here for a couple of years, but I absolutely fell in love with Southern Colorado. I also fell in love with a Pueblo boy when I was interviewing him about his food truck. Now we're married. We have this little girl, and my parents actually owned a restaurant in Arkansas, a catfish restaurant. So it's exciting that my daughter gets to grow up in a restaurant too, in her daddy's kitchen in Pueblo.
Yeah. Watch Taylor Bishop, weeknights at 5, 6:30, 9, and 10.
In Southern Colorado, you have to be ready for anything.
Sometimes that involves making a really tough decision. Patagonia or North Face?
We make the most out of a nice day. Hey, grab Aspen, Rocky, and Sierra. Let's go.
And in Southern Colorado, we know it's all about the flavor.
And as our cities grow, we hang on to our Western heritage.
I'm just trying to hold on.
Well, hold on tighter.
I thought you got this way.
I'm getting off this way. This is how you get up. We are Southern Colorado.
Hey, wait! What about me?
Hi, I'm Scott Kilbury, host of Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids. We have 30 of the best and brightest schools from all across Southern Colorado competing for the top spot. Question is, who will come out on top? Watch Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids Sundays at 6:30, sponsored by the Pikes Peak Library District.
Burgers for the mind, tacos for the heart, and chili for the soul. We're Felipe's 109, home of the taco burger. Local flavors, family owned, love, peace, green chili, y'all.
Tonight's match is brought to you by SoCo CW. San Diego, no, it is factually correct. 4-0 at halftime. Tonight's honorary healthcare professional of the match, Katie Vandervoort Chapel, registered nurse in the labor and delivery department at St. Francis Hospital. Thank you, Katie, for all you've done to help our community. The healthcare professional of the match, co-sponsored by Encore Electric, along with Olson Plumbing and Heating. Beautiful family. Let's take a look at the highlights brought to you by Broadmoor Cryotherapy. These are a little tougher to watch if you're a Colorado Springs fan. How about Perez gets it started?
Brilliant, Adrian Perez cuts in on his left here, has a shot. No, it's a comfortable save, and Christian Herrera just totally messes it up. You can do that once and get away with it again, but you can't do it twice. Perez once again causes problems. Ball come wide to Joe Corona. Cross for Blake Bodley, header on target, but goalkeeper should save it, and it goes through his hands a second time. And then things were getting a bit heated. Late tackle from Romario Williams. He turns around there with his left elbow, just whacks Grant Stoneman. It's a late tackle. He's in the wrong to start with, and on top of that, he then goes and elbows Grant Stoneman, gets a red card. Then things go from bad to worse. A lovely attack down the right-hand side there. Adrian Perez, who else with a cross? Blake Bodley, arm up, shouting for the ball. No one marking him, makes a connection, sticks it in the corner. And then just before the end of the half, Adrian Perez, who else, cuts inside. Brilliant strike, just hits the crossbar, back to Moshaban. Empty net, 4-0. What a first half for San Diego Loyal.
Broadmoor Cryotherapy presents the halftime stats, and they tell quite a story.
Yep, 0 shots on target for the Switchbacks at home, which is such a surprise. They've been in good form recently, 35% possession. Look, there's 3 yellow cards now for San Diego Loyal. They have to be careful, but 2 for Switchbacks. So big question is, what's going to happen second half? Will it get worse for the Switchbacks or not?
Be some subs at halftime. See Fjellberg get in here for Colorado Springs in a moment. On to the second half we go. Loyal 4, Switchbacks nothing. Jay Chapman comes off. You get another attacking player on. Substitution brought to you by the William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center. Learn more at hibblecenter.org. And then Kyle Adams has come on for Elijah Martin, another Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center sub.
Yep, San Diego just getting stronger in defense and getting a taller, more physical player, getting ready for a bombardment potentially in the second half. And of course, a change in terms of attack with Fjellberg. But for me, the big question is that San Diego Loyal are very good in transition, very clever on the counter-attack. And Switchbacks, you would think, are going to want to try and go for it here, try and get a couple of goals back. But if they don't concentrate on the counter-attack, they can go down 5 or 6 goals here. And that would really look terrible for the home side. So let's see how they balance both trying to attack and keeping players back to defend at the same time.
Fjellberg gets an early welcome to the game. Nodded a hair too far. Koke Vegas, a goal kick to show for it. A little bit of history tonight. This is the first time San Diego has ever bagged 4 goals away from home. They've only ever had 5 on one previous occasion. Make it twice, rather, both at home. Home against Las Vegas in 2021, more recently at home against Indy 11 in 2022.
It's very rare away from home to get this sort of result, because generally home sides with a crowd behind them, they'll limit the damage. But credit to San Diego. They pounced on a few errors from Christian Herrera, and they've created a few lovely goals themselves. And they haven't made any mistakes yet in defense, so it's been the perfect performance to date.
Fjellberg off of Riley. Of notes, the Switchbacks did pitch a 4-0 stinker, giving up 3 in the first half to Sacramento on the road earlier this year.
There was one really bad home result, if you're talking about that, was Charleston Battery's 7-0 thumping at the hands of San Antonio.
Yes.
At home.
Yeah.
So we've got a ways to go yet to San Diego to beat that result.
Herrera's got to deal with that. He's going to get no peace tonight, is he?
Even that's risky. You know, he gets away with it, but if the striker reads what he's trying to do and dispossesses him, it's another tragedy at the back there for Christian Herrera. Always think when you make a mistake, or in his case two, you just don't do anything that can even bring a problem onto you. But anyway, give him credit for the confidence to do that.
You and I were chatting about this at halftime. You know, if maybe you've been in the Rockies for a while, but you're maybe new to our sport a little bit. This happens in a hockey game in the first period. You're yanking the goaltender. Goalkeeper is an interesting position because once you give it up, it's so often you get Wally pipped out of it, and you've got a really experienced vet and Joe Kuzminski behind him. So you're kind of having to decide what's best for the confidence now, moving forward. It's a really unique place to be in as a manager.
And I'm pretty sure Stephen Hogan was checking the body language of Christian Herrera at halftime. And if your keeper's still positive, and bear in mind, he's had 5 clean sheets in the last 6. If your keeper's in, if he walks in and goes, guys, I'm sorry, that's on me, both goals, I was horrendous, but I'm here, I'm with it, then you keep him in. If you just see the goalkeeper put his head in his hands and doesn't say anything, then you go, you know what, mentally you've gone, let's change you. So again, credit to Christian Herrera. He probably came in positive and said, guys, I can handle this, in which case, given his very good recent form, you stand with him.
26-year-old from New Mexico, who's on his 8th club, jumped into the pro game at a very young age. Real Monarchs, on to Pachuca for a brief time, and really spent most of his time outside of a stint in Oakland with MLS 2 teams in the championship before coming on to Colorado Springs. Adams. Agron will force a throw. It's the only game in the championship here tonight. This creates a really intriguing situation tomorrow for Monterey Bay. They host Oakland. This is going to get by Beckford out for a goal kick. Monterey Bay now 3 points off of a tie for 4th. If they were to win, they pull level on the first tiebreaker. That's victories. Then it comes to goal difference, and San Diego whomping on Colorado Springs can open that up a bit. They're now +8 for the season.
I think the problem for Colorado Springs, because they've had a bit of an up and down time, is if this result stands, or if the win stands, never mind the actual scoreline, Colorado Springs Switchbacks will only be 3 points ahead of 8th place New Mexico, 1 win, and yet they would have played 2 extra games. So they can get dragged down very quickly.
Beckford off of Adams. That's a corner for Colorado Springs. Spoke to it earlier. Those next 2 games on the road at Phoenix, who look a bit resurgent and could pull level with them in the standings. Then you go at San Diego, who could pull away with that home playoff spot, where you host Birmingham and Tulsa back-to-back.
We saw with Oakland, they dropped very quickly from 5th all the way down to 9th in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Corner here away from Mahoney. That corner brought to you by the McDivitt Law Firm. We're in your corner. The resurface, the header from Mahoney. And the first save of the night, Koke Vegas, is not one at all. It was offside.
Well, he'll claim it's a save. He didn't know the flag had gone up. It was a straightforward save, straight at the goalkeeper.
That's twice tonight, right? He had that one good
Yes, he did. Very good save in the first half. But, you know, credit to Switchbacks. They've been positive the start of the second half.
Ultimately, you've got about 5,000 people here who expect you to remain positive entering the second half, especially after that 40-minute weather delay at the outset. Fans stuck it out here downtown. Fjellberg got held up by Riley and ripped away here by San Diego. Diagonal. Speedy Williams scoops forward. Snap back into his stead. In behind. Adams shield off Beckford. Long enough for Bodley to get there.
You know, normally we talk about in-game management in the last 10 minutes and working the clock down, etc. For me, this entire second half for San Diego is just game management. You don't have to score again. I mean, yeah, if you get the chance to, you will, but it's not a big deal. 5-0, 4-0 makes no difference. You don't want to get into any physical battles. You don't want to get any more yellow cards. You want to keep the pressure on, but all you have to do is just manage this game. Even if Switchbacks get a goal back, even 2 goals back, it's not a big deal. You can win 4-2 and still leave very happy with the day's performance. You've just got to be sensible and use football acumen to manage the second half properly, and that's what San Diego have to do.
On the first minute from Adrian Perez through the hands of Christian Herrera. Bodley in the 9th and the 30th, sandwiching a red card, straight red to Romario Williams in the 15th. And Perez almost bagged a second magnificently. Rebound smashed home by Mosheban. Fjellberg is out behind his skis. Whoa, that's some clever footwork. Out to Perez. You say Perez had such a spectacular first half. There's the goal and the assist, sure. What else stood out to you about the performance they put together?
Well, it was the positive nature. The first goal, the cut inside, has a shot, should be saved, wasn't 1-0. The second goal gets started by him attacking down the right-hand side and gets a lovely ball to Joe Corona, who's got time to put in the cross for Blake Bodley to head the ball. The cross for the third goal comes from Adrian Perez, and then Adrian Perez hits the crossbar for the 4th goal. So he's involved in every single goal, scores one, gets an assist on one of them, and the crossbar you could almost call an assist as well. So it's just, you know, and the nature of his runs and the way he left defenders in his wake, I just thought was exceptional. And credit to San Diego Loyal for playing that positive football, which Nate Miller says is in their DNA. They want to attack, they want to be that exciting team to watch, and sometimes they'll concede a lot of goals, sometimes they won't, but they will always score goals, and once again, he's proven correct.
You speak to Nate Miller, and he's got the same kind of temperament that we used to hear from Landon Donovan so much when he was leading San Diego. Curling around the outside, cross that Herrera will claim. I asked him about that long stretch without clean sheets on the road, nearly a year and a half. And we spoke about it once it had become 2-0, now obviously 4-0. You get the feeling it sort of chapped him a tad, that it was still being brought up even though they had finally snapped it. But to your point, their whole goal is we're not going to go somewhere and sit in. We're going to play our football. Opposing coaches will speak glowingly about how they keep the ball on the floor and really play no matter where they are. And San Diego, whether it's the acumen of and maybe the leash that you get with Landon Donovan from the outset, they never really stray that far from it.
Yeah, and it served them well today. This is why you want to be on the front foot, because you force the goalkeeper to do something and he makes an error and you're 1-0 up. You again get another one on target, he makes another error, you're 2-0 up. It doesn't happen if you're not on the front foot. So huge credit to San Diego Loyal. It's a lovely way to play football. If I was a fan, I mean, I'm a fan of all football, but if I was a San Diego fan, I'd be like, hey, I want to go watch this team. And to be fair, Colorado Springs are also quite an attacking side. Maybe not quite as much as San Diego Loyal, but they score a ton of goals as well. Just Romario Williams getting sent off takes away your lead striker. So, you know, if there's 2 players who have to apologize to the team at the end of this match, of course, one is Christian Herrera, which I'm sure he would do, as goalkeepers tend to hold their hands up when they make errors. The other is Romario Williams. He put his team in trouble.
Good ball, punched away, was bouncing toward Mosheban. Whistle's gone against San Diego.
Herrera Putting his body on the line there, goes to meet the ball, takes the knock. Wasn't much of a knock, to be fair. But I mean, as a goalkeeper, you make errors, it's an error. Yep. You're going to make them. For Mario Williams, you go and tackle someone, you give away a tackle, you could have easily picked up the yellow for the tackle, it wasn't a good tackle, and then you get up and you elbow the guy and get a red. I mean, that's not an error, that's just being silly and costing your team hugely.
Fjellberg has been on the wrong end of 2 of these. One came in at halftime. Injury stoppage from Centura Health.
Had a lovely cross for a ball for that one Tejada goal in the last match against Monterey Bay. Got the ball out wide on the right, whipped it in near post. Tejada timed his run beautifully. Gone from a 4-0 win over Monterey Bay to what is currently a 4-0 loss at home. That's a bit of a change in back-to-back matches.
Williams, that's too far for Juan Tejada. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's the biggest swerve in league history. Have to be up there. You know, and all the while, San Diego, you and I were gawking at it at halftime. 60 minutes in, their expected goals is still 0.73.
And it's to get 4 goals from 0.79 expected goals just shows you how everything sort of hit the back of the net, courtesy of a few errors. 0.24 rather for Switchbacks at half time. So I had a bit of a glimpse here and there, but not too much.
Those nights tonight.
Yep.
Colorado Springs.
Every once in a while, soccer throws up just a crazy result that you never saw coming. Didn't know how it happened, and probably would never happen again if these two teams met here at Widener Field. But that's why we love the game. You can't guess. Sometimes you just can't guess what's going to take place from the pitch.
Fjellberg, got that down, trailing away. Sees the support. Instead, he'll go it alone. Okay, Vegas, that one counts. He's on the board. First save tonight. 2 were deemed offside.
Good switch of play, lovely ball. Well controlled by Jonas Fjellberg. Hits it from about the same position that Adrian Perez hit his in the first minute. Of course, Koke Vegas unlikely to make the mistake that Christian Herrera made. Not because he's a better goalkeeper or anything, it's a very rare mistake even for Herrera to make himself. So most goalkeepers able to get their body behind the ball. Easy possession of the ball, frustrating for the Switchbacks. They're running around, chasing, and San Diego just able to play through that press.
Good effort there from Segrist. Back up by Riley. Moshabon reverses. Adams. Out of Beckford. Well, to your point, San Diego piling up some goals. That's not really a surprise. 4 might be a tad, but not really off the reservation. Colorado Springs has these sometimes wild ups and downs. You get one of these once in a while, but it's so antithetical. Shocking on its face tonight. Over by Mahoney.
But you're right, it has been an up and down season. 4 wins in the last 6 is a good run. But before that, 5 straight losses, as Vegas clears that one. So they've been up and down and this way and that way, and this must be a tough time for Stephen Hogan as a young manager trying to figure things out.
Moshabon pokes that out. Herrera went in. and successfully struck it off the foot of Moshaban. Otherwise, it's 5. Down goes Fjellberg.
Moshaban so good on the ball, so able to change direction, and there again just pulls it wide. Christian Herrera, give him credit, puts his left foot out here, the goalkeeper. Have a look as it goes, and look at the left foot there. There's the connection, and that's what makes the save. Otherwise it could have been in the back of the net.
It's going to be 5 total subs here. Blake Foster coming in. There's Collier from Moshaban. Did score right before halftime. Colin Martin is done. Evan Conway is going to come off. Here's San Diego. His 13-day break just began about 25 minutes early for half your starting 11.
It makes sense. The game's pretty much done and dusted. Although these players are coming on, Ronaldo, Collier, I mean, there's some really good players, and they'll be hungry to prove to the manager that they can score goals. So maybe there's more action still to come for San Diego in terms of scoring.
Yeah. Ball bouncing away. There's the offside flag. All the subs brought to you by the William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center. You can learn more at hibblecenter.org. Well, and Conway and Martin were on yellow cards.
Yes, sensible.
We saw Martin go off, not bodily, the number 7, 17. Sensible indeed. Guido hasn't had much of a statistical season to this point. Guy who was around the MVP conversation when he first came to Loyal. Damas still trying to find his exact role within this group. Has managed 5 goals. They've alternated him from starting to off the bench. You have to think there's reason to think San Diego's recent inclusions want to keep the good times rolling tonight.
I remember that first game of Ronaldo when he got a ball on the edge of the box, but 28, 29 yards out and stuck it in the corner, and everybody thought, wow, this is going to be the best signing, bringing him back from Scandinavia, but hasn't quite got that regular scoring that he got at Orange County a couple of seasons ago.
That's a yellow to Riley. That is his 6th of the year, and all of a sudden, his next will be the penultimate before a suspension. Yellow card sponsored by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. Remember, take a moment to breathe. Call this an attacking-looking free kick. Williams had her snapped down to Vegas.
It's actually been quite an uneventful second half compared to the first half. You've got 4 goals and a red card. We've had no goals, no red cards, maybe the odd yellow, but it's almost like both teams have agreed that, you know, Switchbacks don't want things to get worse. San Diego quite happy to walk away with a 4-0, or they'd love to keep a clean sheet, but even a 4-1. So it's sort of the immediate energy seems to have gone out the game for a little while, but it could all spark up again in just a moment.
You know, this all started with like a 40-minute lightning delay. You've got San Diego Loyal out here throwing up the lightning delay poll of who deserved to be the CEO of Waystar Royco, and they left out the most obvious answer. It was always supposed to be Cousin Greg. They chose Kendall, the fans in San Diego, which leaves me with a lot of questions. Gary wasn't so enamored with that show. Just never caught your fancy?
I'm going to watch it. It's been recommended a few times, yeah.
Well, I'm going to shame you into it right now.
Thanks. It's a day of shame for goalkeepers. It's me and Christian Herrera then, is it?
He's not the CEO of Waystar Royco, I know that.
No, but he's feeling a bit sad about this game. But again, not to pick on him. I've made errors as well. It's just part and parcel of being a goalkeeper. Yeah, you make one. It's not often you make two in a game, which he has done. But again, I'd look to Romario Williams and say that's not an error. That's just not controlling your emotions, and that cost the team dearly. So it's been an horrendous game, and I'm sure Stephen Hogan, after this game is over, will say, guys, you know what, let's just forget about it. Let's not talk about it again. Let's just move on to the next match. And as you say, two very tough away matches coming up for the Switchbacks.
At Phoenix, and then they'll go away to San Diego to end the month of July. Perez, oh, what a ball, what a finish. Collier puts it in. San Diego up by 5. That was picture book stuff. And Elliot Collier has his second of the season, the title winner a year ago.
And who puts the ball in? It's that man again, Adrian Perez, has been involved in all 5 goals. But what a good finish from Elliot Collier, the timing. Look at Perez, going to cut back on his left foot, head up, sees the run of Collier and puts it right on his foot for him. Great finish from Collier, mind you. Puts it in the top corner, keeps himself onside as well. Nothing Christian Herrera can do about that, but not many games in which you are involved in every single goal of 5 goals. But that's the story for Adrian Perez. And he's delighted Elliot Collier with that pass and with that finish.
For just the 3rd time in Loyal history, they have 5 goals. And the first time on the road. Utterly shocking stuff tonight. All the while, this would match the heaviest defeat in the history of the Switchbacks. The 5-0 drubbing at the hands of Austin Bold on the road in 2019, its only match.
It's a good record for San Diego on that road, assuming they win this, which I think is a fairly fair assumption to make. They've had 4 wins, 4 draws, and 3 losses.
Very good.
I tell you what, yeah, I think any team would snap your hand off if you were offered that on the road. So again, credit to Nate Miller for his team showing a lot of guts and fortitude when they travel.
Got 16 points, rather 14 points out of their 8 home games too. So they're right under that 2 point a game at home, getting well over a point a game on the road. That is how you end up with home games in the postseason. Loyal lining themselves up for a run here. William J. Hybl Sports Medicine and Performance Center. Go to hybelcenter.org for more information. Bodley comes off, not 1 but 2 goals tonight.
Yeah, this header there was the keeper could have done better on that one, but that's a good finish. Both of them headers, both of them crosses from out wide on the right. Blake Bodley's had a really good game. No wonder he's getting all the high fives there from the players. His 2-goal contribution, top class from Blake Bodley.
And this is going to be the longest run of the regular season for Morgan Hackworth. 29 minutes in 7 appearances so far this season. Play out the string on the final 18 here tonight. Pride of Syracuse, onto a sterling career at Akron.
And their father who knows a thing or two about football.
That's it. John Hackworth, now the director of coaching at St. Louis City after an impressive run at the helm of Louisville City. Before that, in the U.S. Youth National Team coaching ranks. with assisting the senior men's national team under Bob Bradley. You know, they always have, anytime you see a coach's son, there's always like 87 different hyperbolic statements about it, but the fittest, the highest IQ, whoever you talk to about Morgan Hackworth, you get some combination of those superlatives you always expect to hear about a coach's son. That apple did not fall far from the tree. It's a foul from Adams.
Kyle Adams giving a penalty away. One of their more recent matches.
Here's a
Indy
chance.
11.
Whoa, off the face of Koke Vegas. That was a really quick restart.
Yeah, I was still trying to get my point out there when and Vegas pops up and makes the save, but he gave it Indy 11. They were 2-0 up on the road. San Diego, and they gave away 2 penalties. Kyle Adams, one of those penalties given away, so he'll want to put in a solid performance here in the last 15 minutes just to feel good about his game again.
Well, Bum's tail is wagging tonight, and the locals proud of the loyal performance. 5-0 in the 75th minute. The only game tonight in the championship. Halftime, you and I took a look at some of the intriguing fixtures tomorrow, including a national TV fixture for Monterey Bay and Oakland in Northern California, down in Seaside. Should be about sold out for that game tomorrow. Action will start at 7 o'clock Pacific for that game. Start 4 Pacific and 6 Mountain Time for the East Coast slate of games on ESPN+. He's going to come back here. And Stoneman relegated to the ground here. All 5 loyal subs are already in the book.
A little bit of afters on Grant Stoneman, maybe for the involvement with Romario Williams getting sent off in the first half, although I don't think Grant Stoneman did anything wrong in that situation, but has been regularly booed ever since.
I think most of the vitriol has evaporated.
Yeah. It's one of those games where if you're a switchback player, you just want the final whistle to go and get the hell off this pitch and move on to the next game. If you're a San Diego player, you're like, well, I'm happy with the 5-0, let's just blow the whistle and go home, because they've been on the road since before June 24th. So really, I don't know what to expect from the last 15 minutes, but I think both teams would quite happily end it now. Having said that, if you're a substitute and you've come on and you've got, 30 minutes to impress the manager, you probably want to do something special in the time allotted to you. Damas being one of those players who probably feels he has to impress Nate Miller to get a regular starting berth again.
Backside header, Fjellberg circulates underneath it from Wheeler. Came on for Tejada around the hour mark. Wheeler involved in that previous interaction with Stoneman. That is one too many offside. Those are the things that you would imagine if you want to light the tape on fire. I don't think anyone would really blame the switchback coaching staff, but those are the moments that'll probably leave a little frustration in Stephen Hogan's mind tonight.
Well, I'm guessing from Stephen Hogan's point of view, the day after a match or 2 days after, whenever you get together, you put maybe 45 minutes aside, an hour aside for video analysis of the game. You probably want to stretch that a bit more to 2 hours because there's a lot to go through. It's just been an horrendous game. It's not that Switchbacks aren't a good side. They're a very good side. They've had some wonderful results, 4 wins in the last 6. It's just this has been one of those days, and they're going to have to go through all the errors, all the mistakes, all the things they shouldn't have done, discuss it, everyone hold their hands up and then go, right, put this one to bed, never talk about it again, because it's just nothing has gone right for the home side at all.
played by Herrera. Well, the quit certainly hasn't kicked in yet. It's come all the way down to Koke Vegas. He'll spin it back out to Adams. Of course, San Diego's next game is sort of a celebration of the franchise as much as anything. On paper, I think we can all agree they're probably going to lose their next game, and I don't know that anyone's really going to have all that much of a problem with it. We'll play Borussia Dortmund at Snapdragon Stadium here, same venue that hosted the Gold Cup semifinal this week, the U.S. men's national team. We spoke to Nate Miller a little bit about it, and the first thing he did was give credit to Ricardo Campos. You didn't bring in a second division side from a Big 5 league country. No, they went out and got one of the biggest clubs on the planet. And then for the fans and for the players, see Nate Miller there in the middle of your screen. Fans get to celebrate, you know, so many loyal jerseys at that U.S. men's national team game. I saw it while calling the World Feed. Nate Miller said he was at the venue and scoped it out. And for the team, moment to enjoy, right?
Oh, moment to savor, playing against Borussia Dortmund. And you know, being a German side, I mean, not that any side wouldn't go for it in pre-season, but the Germans in particular, they know they don't mess around. They're super professional, and there's so much talent on that side. So yeah, good luck San Diego, have a lot of fun, but you're going to come up against some top class players, which is every player's dream. It's what what you hope to achieve in your football career, to play against top teams. So and then the next match is to meet Colorado Springs Switchbacks again. And do you get the sense that there might be a little bit of aggro in that match, but a sense of revenge, a desire to put the record straight from the Switchbacks?
Well, San Diego's next game is a league game. Mario Williams, on the other hand, will sit out the upcoming game against Phoenix for the red card unless they add to the suspension through the Panic at the Disco. But in theory, he'd be back for that game too.
It could be a bit spicy because, you know, there's a lot of professional pride been heard today on that Switchbacks team. And a lot of anger and a lot of pointing fingers will take place the next day or two, and holding up hands, and then they've got to get on with business. And they'll want to get even with San Diego.
Wheeler, what an epic ball. Foster! Saved by Koke Vegas. Never in doubt. Clean sheet survives still. And that is a really rough fall to the ground. Grabbing back at that hip area. Here's the chance a moment ago.
Good strike from Malik Foster and a very good save from Koke Vegas. Had to have a strong right hand. It's low down to his right, and he pushes it away and out for his defender to deal with it. So credit to the goalkeeper. Hasn't had a lot to do, Koke Vegas, but he's done it all absolutely perfectly.
Injury stoppage by Centura Health. Joe Corona slowly up.
He gets a bit of an elbow into his ribs.
I mentioned Damas coming from Scandinavia. Same for Corona. They both came, along with Forrest Lasso, back to the USL Championship from Sundsvall. Played for the El Paso coach now. What a job El Paso's done turning this thing around. They were a bit of a laughing stock this time last year, and there they are in the top three, and pretty firmly so at that. There's Damas. Is there more here? Held off, laid across. It's just out of the reach of Collier. That just needed the most delicate touch.
Wow, no wonder there's a thumbs up from Collier. What a ball from Damas. I thought he had gone too wide, and I thought he was going to have a shot himself, because he was aware that Collier was in the middle. You see here, he sort of starts going away from the goal. He tries to cut in, but what a fantastic ball. And that literally is a foot away from Collier scoring the sixth. Yeah, it just doesn't quite get there, but great awareness from Damas, and fantastic play again from the Loyal.
mentioned Damas came in from Sundsvall. That was Brian Claerhout's team. Actually had some pretty good numbers there too. Perez.
Interesting thought here when we chatted to Nate Miller. He was saying that, you know, they've had a tough road spell, just the 1 win in 7, and but he talked about dips in season, and he said in previous years they've played really well and the dip has come just before the playoffs, and they've gone into the playoffs with not quite sure of how positive they are. He said they've had their dip a little bit earlier in the season, and now they're getting ready for this home stretch, and of course with a win against Hartford and the almost certain win here now, they're going to go into those 5 home games, no doubt getting a whole bunch of points. It puts them in a great position going into the playoffs. And I thought that was an interesting take on when teams get a dip, because Colorado Springs have had their dip, they're 5 straight losses. But the sort of thought process of getting the dip out the way in the middle of the season as opposed to just before the playoffs.
I mean, there's the rare invincibles, right? Where the dip just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's
You're
a
talking
reason.
Phoenix Rising and that
Yeah, well,
21 game winning streak.
They were invincible then, yeah. Collier will run all the way up to Herrera. You know, Arsenal once upon a time.
Oh, in EPL, yeah.
Sure, I mean, you know, you've got your rarity, but there's a reason that's rarefied air. You put any stock in that? The idea that, you know, getting it out of the way early?
No, but what I do put stock in is managers trying to find the positive. I think that's so important, and I think that's what Nate Miller's doing. And it's your job as a coach to make players feel that the good is around the corner, that something bad has happened, but it's gonna work for us in the long run. And you put positive thoughts in players' heads, and then you hope you see those positive thoughts come to fruition on the pitch. It has been a professional performance second half from the Loyal. They've added a goal. They've calmed the match down. There's been no red cards. They haven't got involved at all. I just think it's been the epitome of what you would have wanted if you are Nate Miller. Couldn't have asked for more in the second half.
Big old pocket of space for Damas. Slipped that ahead epically. This is out to Speedy Williams. Foster giving chase, picked up by Hackworth, chopping at Foster, who's off to the races. Advantage played, Hackworth catching him from behind. Foster, a bounce to Vegas off of Adams.
Foster's been positive second half, so was Feldberg. They both try to get on that front foot and create a few problems. Late tackle coming in here from Echeverria.
I think Adams will remember that in 2 weeks.
Like I say, I think it's going to be a very exciting match either to work on or to watch, because there's going to be a lot of revenge issues there. Ooh, there's a high right arm there from Echeverria.
Yellow card sponsored by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. Remember,
always take a moment to breathe.
Yep.
Yeah. The second half has, I think the players have, they've kept it cool. A little moment there, Echeverria, but nothing major. I think both sides have put a lid on it second half. It had all the potential to really get out of control. And to be fair, for the Switchbacks, not much to gain when you're 4-0 down first half. The referee just having another word again. When you're 4-0 down, it's a tough second half. It's, you know, things can only get worse and very difficult to get back in the match with 10 players. So I think both teams have managed the second half as probably as well as they wanted. I'm sure Switchbacks would have loved to get at least one goal to come away with something. But things haven't got much worse than they were at halftime.
You know, we've long remarked at this. The idea that Colorado Springs, they've got one draw now in 8, what, is 19, this 20 games now? Yeah, this will be the 20th tonight.
Game, wow.
And I thought it was a very fair question, and I give Stevie Hogan some credit for sort of shedding light on the validity of it, but you know, it sort of feels like there's an all or nothing approach sometimes to this Switchback team, where like when it's going to be good, it's going to be really good. When it's bad, sometimes it. But there's no value. You get the 1 point.
Yeah, it's not much, is it, compared to 3?
You'd rather go 9-9.
Yep.
Than, you know, 6-6-6. It's going to spin out here. Maybe there's something for Foster. Good save by Vegas. Who's latching onto that clean sheet with both hands at the end. Foster, Williams, runouts on for San Diego. Collier, full tilt, leading Damas. He's going to be first to it. Because there is validity to the idea that if you go on the road and get 1 win in those 2 games, better than walking away with 2 draws.
Yep.
Conversely, you talk to Stephen Hogan, 2 draws in the next 2 games on the road doesn't sound so bad. Damas. Tick-tock shop stoppage time. Referee has a sense of humor, 1 added minute.
Ooh, late tackle. Got to be a yellow card.
So humorous now.
But again, well done, San Diego Loyal, not responding. You know they're frustrated. You know the Switchbacks are angry. And they haven't bit. They've had a few yellow cards given, but that's not for silly stuff. Takes the knock here, and it's a nasty one on Charlie Adams. He would have every right to get up and have a few words with Wheeler, but he just lets it be. Doesn't want to get involved. That was probably the chat again at halftime from Nate Miller, and super professional performance by San Diego Loyal.
The co-host of the Always Loyal podcast, Darren Smith, says that's Adrian Perez tonight. Care to share?
Iniesta, isn't it? Picture of Iniesta, yeah.
San Diego Loyal leapfrog Colorado Springs and into a home playoff place. 4th place with a 5-0 win. It is their most dominant performance in franchise history. And the Switchbacks joint heaviest defeat. And this Friday night, one to forget in downtown Colorado Springs for the Switchbacks.
Yeah, one to forget for Christian Herrera, but one to remember for that man, Adrian Perez, involved in all 5 goals, couple of assists, goals, but every single goal was either scored by him or created by him. Fantastic performance. The players have a little chat now. He gets a pat in the back of the head there, Adrian Perez, from his own players, because they know how important he has been. A little bit of a chat. They'll push aside hostilities for a couple of weeks, then it's all going to resume again.
How about we take a look at the critical moment of the match? It's brought to you by Centura Health. Regrettably, it's 35 seconds in. Changed the whole game.
Adrian Perez, great run, a shot that should easily be dealt with by Christian Herrera and wasn't, but Adrian Perez gets to, as we say, be involved in every other goal. He hit the crossbar. He had a couple of assists. Christian Herrera has a 2nd goal he should have saved and didn't, so horrible day at the office for the big goalkeeper, but I'm sure he'll be back. 5 clean sheets in the previous 6. Maybe he can put another good run of clean sheets again in the future. We wish him well.
All right, we'll wrap it up on the other side of the break. Loyal win it by 5. Match brought to you by the SoCo CW.
Burgers for the mind, tacos for the heart, and chili for the soul. We're Felipe's 109, home of the taco burger. Local flavors, family owned, love, peace, green chili, y'all.
Hi, I'm Scott Kilbury, host of Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids. We have 30 of the best and brightest schools from all across Southern Colorado competing for the top spot. Question is, who will come out on top? Watch Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids Sundays at 6:30.
Sponsored by the Pikes Peak Library District.
At Fox 21, we say we are Southern Colorado, but what does that really mean?
It means we bring you the local stories from our towns, our people.
With stories that show how you live, work, and play.
Plus the stories that impact our communities.
We want to tell the stories that are important to you because we are Southern Colorado.
Watch Fox 21 local news weekday mornings from 5 to 9 a.m. and weeknights at 5, 6:30, 9, and 10. We are Southern Colorado.
Saturday during the summers was our get up and go to Monument Lake fishing. From a little hobby as an 11-year-old kid, it's turned into quite a business.
Our stories matter.
If they're on the trails, if they're in the woods, if they're anywhere, I can be with them now.
Bringing you the most local news.
All of the people that are doing this type of agriculture are trying to do a better thing for society.
We are Fox 21, and together we are Southern Colorado.
Welcome back to tonight's Pulse game. It is presented by the SoCo CW. It'll be a happy flight back for San Diego Loyal, a 5-0 win, and from 5th they move to 4th. Mike and Gary, to wrap it up. Player of the match sometimes really strikes you, sometimes it doesn't. In this instance, Trailheads went nowhere. Better Business Bureau, men and women, supporters of the match.
Yeah, and they were. They kept going throughout the game. They're booing. Fantastic bunch of supporters. And while nothing went right on the pitch, you've got to give credit for what happened off the pitch.
Let's walk you through the SoCo CW full-time match highlights. We start, as we mentioned, the fastest goal of the season for the Loyal.
Adrian Perez cuts inside on his left foot, takes a shot from just outside the box. Christian Herrera, poor effort, goes through his hands in the back of the net. And then Adrian Perez starts this one, gets it wide to Joe Corona. His cross comes to Blake Bodley, gets his header on target, straight at the goalkeeper, and a second blunder from Christian Herrera. They're 2-0 down already, and then Romario Williams comes in here. Late tackle, should be yellow carded for it, gets up, elbows Grant Stoneman, gets a red card, no question about that whatsoever. Silly moment from Romario Williams. 2 goals down, player down, it's all falling apart. 31st minute, and it's going to be a lovely break down the right-hand side here, and a ball gets crossed. Adrian Perez, who else? Blake Bodley, arms up, unmarked, penalty spot, back of the net, and it's just been an horrendous first half, made even worse by Adrian Perez, who else? Cuts inside, has a wonderful strike, hits the crossbar, comes up, Mushaban heads in the loose ball, 4-0 at half-time. Wow, try and get your breath after all of that. And then good job second half from the Loyal. They just keep the pressure on, control the match. Who else? Adrian Perez cuts inside, puts a beautiful ball in for Collier. Great finish. Smiles all round for San Diego Loyal.
Better Business Bureau full-time match stats. 5-0 San Diego. Chance for your final thoughts on this one, Gary.
Yeah, horrible day for Switchbacks. They've won 4 of their previous 6. They've had 5 clean sheets in 6. They just had a bad day at the office. Put it aside. Just make sure you don't do it again. You know, go through all the video footage. But and conversely for San Diego Loyal, you know, yeah, a couple of errors from Switchbacks, but still great performances. Perez, top class. So too Bodley with a couple of goals. And there'll be, as you said, a very happy flight back to San Diego for the Loyal.
Read verified customer reviews and check business ratings at bbb.org. Well, the fireworks were planned, and the Colorado Springs fans who came here tonight thought it'd be going a little bit differently beforehand. San Diego, a rather famous win for them in the course of their season as they jump over Colorado Springs and into 4th place with 5 straight home games to come. Till then, for Gary Bailey, our entire team in Colorado Springs and beyond, Mike Watts saying thanks for watching. See you tomorrow night, ESPN2, Oakland and Monterey Bay. So long for now.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.